What it is, you guys, is yo girl Cadillac. I am Cadillac Dixon. I am the Draw My Life Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before all face to black. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. And also through my short content, I am known as the OG prison wife. Anyways, earlier I was telling you I was going to tell you a story time about how I ended up working at a theme park, like girl of all places. How in the entire world did I end up working at a theme park? Okay, so we have to go all the way back to 2000, basically 2013. Um, Before that, I was working overnight at Walmart. I was working in a super center. I had a little girl, 2013. I would have been 31 going on 32, and I had a 11 going on 12-year-old. We're 20 years apart. So 11 going on 12-year-old, and I'm 31 going on 32 years old. Okay, so I was working overnight. My daughter was just about to be in middle school. So all through her elementary, I worked at. Basically, when Marcello went to prison in 2002, I got my job at Walmart working overnight in 2002 because I could no longer afford daycare. Um, so I kept our daughter when I would get off the graveyard shift. In 2003, I did enroll myself into cosmetology school. I finished cosmetology school by 2004. Um, I don't know. I think I took my state board in 2005 or something. I did stall around because they had us so scared about state board or whatever. Then I had the issues with my hand, the carpal tunnel, and all that stuff I was dealing with. By 2007, I did have carpal tunnel surgery. So that was my journey at Walmart. I dreaded my job. I hated my job. It became a where it felt like it was a stalling in my life. Yes, it allowed me to be able to do everything, but it kept me completely tired. When you work third shift, there is something called shift work disorder, and it's basically it feels like you're being jet lagged all the time, like you're never sleeping when it is night, except for your days off, but you can't really sleep on your days off because your body's used to being up at night. So you're never sleeping when it is nighttime, and this is the way that God designed our bodies to sleep at night. So it's like trying to completely live your life in a whole opposite way than God designed your life to be lived. You know what I'm saying? So the body just doesn't, no matter what man comes up with, what man creates, like we created these lights, we created these things, we created super Walmart that used to be open all night long. Even they finally got it together. It was like, we need to close sometime. We created those things, but our bodies were not created to be up all times of night. So it really was hard. I was drained. It was times that I was driving places and literally at a red light too long, I fall asleep. Like it was crazy. It was too much, and you're trying to keep up with a young child. But now by this time my child is in middle school, so it gets a little bit easier. She could feed herself. She doesn't depend on me for every single thing because she's older now. Even with homework, she was now able to do some homework on her own. It wasn't me having to sit there all evening with her with homework. We would kind of cook together. We would have fun. Your girl is not really no good cook like that. So I would just find little frozen stuff. This is when the Dollar Tree, now they $1.25 tree. This one, a Dollar Tree, had first got the little frozen section. So we used to love to just shop through the frozen section. We had this one unusually huge Dollar Tree. And they were the first, I think, that had the refrigerated section. So I would go grocery shopping basically at the Dollar Tree, and we would just get whatever, we wanted and bake it on a pan, throw it in that oven, and girl, eat that. If it was corn dogs, if it was chicken nuggets, whatever. And also we patronized the library all the time. As a single mother, very low budget. I couldn't afford cable and stuff up in the house like that. So we used to rent bukus a movie for free at the library. And then when it was a brand new movie, I just had to see, because the library did have them new movies, girl. But it would be harder to get a hold of them because everybody trying to get them. I would have to just go to Redbox. We'll rent Redbox. But they also had promotions like up in the popcorn boxes with free Redbox movies. So your girl knew how to basically, like, I don't know. I just knew how to make something happen. So my child really did miss out on a lot. We would spend a lot of our evenings at the park and this and that, like in the evening time. So a child more so wants your time. I would spend a lot of time like on the radio stations, websites to see whatever community events, because they had a community tab, whatever they were doing in the neighborhood that was free. So we were just on the go, but I wasn't spending a lot of money, but I was spending a lot of time. And that's, better than money when it comes to a child and their parent. You just want their time. Basically, that's what I wanted from my mother. I just wanted some time. My mother was always busy. And I wanted to give my daughter what I felt like I lacked in my life. Okay, so your girl always tired. I'm always tired. I hated it. I started getting to the point, it was one day that it was time to go to work. And it's like when you work overnight, anybody that works third shift knows, well, for some people, it seemed to have worked. But for me, even though I worked the third shift for 12 years, I could never adjust to it. It was so crazy. I would get off at 7 in the morning and I'll be so tired, I go straight to bed. Okay, if you go straight to bed at 7 a.m., your body's going to wake up about 2. Plus, I had to go get my daughter from school or whatever. But by middle school, she's riding the bus home and stuff like that. So about 2-ish, you waking up. If I didn't have to be to work until 10 p.m., that's 8 hours of running around, shopping, paying bills, doing housework, and then clocking into work. So you're in movement, in motion for 8 full-fledged hours before even clocking into a full 8-hour shift. So you're coming to work already exhausted. You may not have even gotten that much sleep. Okay, try it the other way. Let's go home and stay up. Go home, get this done, get that done. Make sure you go get your oil change. You're doing all kinds of stuff. I don't know why my car keeps doing this. I don't want the light to cut off while I'm recording. You go home and do all of that stuff. Then you try to sleep in the evening. Nobody, not my family, nobody respected the fact that I worked overnight. So it was constantly phone calls. It was always, oh, I need something real quick, real quick. And they didn't care that I was asleep. They didn't care that I was tired. And it used to really piss me off because I'm like, basically, you calling me in the middle of the day when, you know I work overnight. You know that. You calling me in the middle of the day is like me calling you 2, 3, 4 in the morning and be like, hey, what you doing? Can you do me a favor real quick? Like, who does that? But I didn't get the same mutual respect. So my phone would ring all day long. It was so much noise in the house. It was chaotic, confusion, way too much going on. So I was always tired. I did not get the rest. So if you wait to the evening and then you're sleeping on and off while people are constantly interrupting you, then you're going to work after that and you're still tired. So no matter what I did, your girl was tired. I was going to bed. So I hated it, and I would always make plans in my head. I had this one friend and I don't even have friends, so I don't call people friends, but I really thought she was my friend. She was someone that I met at that super center, and we kind of grew older together there because we both worked there for a very long time. Um, Crazy. So I did call her my friend. And we would always have these discussions about how we want to go back to school. Like, we can't keep doing this. And we used to joke about, like, basically, girl, I don't want my 10-year. You would get like this 10-year certificate. Oh, if they ever give me my 10-year certificate, just get rid of me, just jokingly. Like, I don't ever want to get that. Oh, please let me be gone before they ever try to. And girl, it came and I received my 10-year certificate. I wanted to cry. I could not believe that I stayed in that rut for 10 years. But girl, I stayed 12. And it felt like I wasn't going to never get out of there. Let me tell you what got me out of there, which is crazy. I don't think I'm going to be able to find, I might be able to find that story time. So I'm going to just tell you quickly, just in case I can't. I was in the electronics area and this guy kept walking back and forth past me. So I'm thinking maybe he's trying to steal something because he's acting crazy or whatever. He stops and he looks at me and he's like, "What do you need prayer for?" And I'm like, I don't want to work here. Like, can you pray that I can find something better than this? And I have been praying myself for so long, but it was something in his prayer that actually broke things, which I should have had him pray for Marcello to come home because God heard his prayer. Shortly after he prayed that, it was my birthday, June the 5th, 2013. Mr. Ice Cube. Now, I do have that from my Draw My Life series. Link that in the description box. I was going to see Mr. Ice Cube. Yes, y'all know I'm a hip hop head, and my mama was buying me tickets. Ice Cube had never came nowhere near Orlando, Florida, and I don't think he ever did since then. My mother had asked me what did I want to do. I said I wanted to go see Ice Cube, and she offered to pay for my ticket. So I'm like, wow. I went out with my family to Golden Corral. Okay, it was an all-you-can-eat buffet here. But we didn't go in our city. My aunt wanted to go to one further away. She didn't want to go to the one that was in our city right there by the house. So we go way maybe like 35 minutes away to another outside small city to that Golden Corral. It started raining and I had on freaking Crocs and a long dress and some Crocs. Okay, so y'all know I have this weird eye disease and there's this special eye solution that I have to use to soak my hard A contacts. These things hard. They hurt. Sometimes I feel like glass cutting across your eye, but I deal with the pain so that I can see because without them, I can't see, which when I can't see, for me, I don't want to do anything but go to bed because I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm not as advanced like my cousin, _Almighty Mac, that has learned how to live and do things blind. So that's why my hat's off to him. When I'm blind and can't see too much, I can get around, but it's not a lot that I can do because I haven't learned how to basically, live in the dark like that, which maybe that would benefit me to start learning because I am losing my sight. And, eventually I might be in that boat, sooner, later, whenever, but it's coming. So, okay. So I needed this solution that the store started pulling it off a shelf. You couldn't find it nowhere. So it's raining. It's pouring down raining. I'm like, I just want to go in and see if they got this solution out here. Since we far out, they might have it. Because I knew the ones by my house didn't have it. Okay, my aunt, my cousin, everybody comes in walking like side by side in a line through the Walmart doors. Okay. And I'm walking, I'm on the edge, and I'm about to tell my cousin, can you move over because there's nothing but buggies in front of me and I can't proceed any further. When I said, before I could say that, all of a sudden, boom, I came in and just slipped. I mean, slipped and fell flat on my back. As tall as I stand, 5'5". I didn't my knees didn't bend and hit my butt hit the floor first and then No, baby, I fell standing like a log. Like I was standing like this and went flat to my back like that. And then on the video camera, you could see my head bounced like that. So as I'm standing up and I fall flat, my head bounced up and down. And for a while, I could see what's going on. And what's so crazy, my family just kept continuing to walk into the Walmart. I couldn't talk. When I hit my head and it started bouncing, I could see what was going on, but I could not move. My hands were stuck in like a upward position like this. I couldn't move my body. I couldn't, I could see. It was like I was inside my body, but couldn't do anything. I couldn't control my body, couldn't nothing. So I'm like honestly thinking, oh, so I die on my birthday. That is what I was really feeling. And then a few seconds later, I was able to move and I was able to talk. And I said, I'm not okay. Okay, this is where the herniated neck. This is where the herniated disc, the pinched nerves, the TMJ, all those problems stem from that slip and fall. Okay, when I was working for that company, I had no write-ups. I had nothing. I had a great working record and they were super strict. Their attendance policy was crazy. I was good. I didn't have no attendance points. I was fine. I was a great associate. I didn't have no write-ups. They used to put me all over the place. And all of a sudden I slip and fall and now they're writing me up. I'm going to tell a story time about that. How I got wrote up that time, girl. Like that last time. And I refused that thing. But they started writing me up for the stupidest things, basically to build up a record. So I go from no write ups to falling on my back, and now I got one more write up before I'm fired. Uh, Duh, they're writing me up because I fell on their property. And it wasn't even the one that I worked at. I didn't even work at that, super center. But when they ran the background, they wouldn't even pay for me to take an ambulance to, I can't say that word. So y'all don't please laugh at me. I always say that word wrong. But they wouldn't even pay for my ambulance ride from the store falling to the emergency room. They didn't pay for that. That went on my credit. Then I had to go to so much physical therapy. I had to get a lawyer involved because I had health insurance, but because it was a slip and fall, they would not cover it. So I had to take legal action against it. I mean, I had no choice. So when they found that out and found out my employer, it all came together that I worked for the same company. And that's when they went to start writing me up and eventually fired me. I had worked there 12 years. Now I'm kind of messed up. I'm hurting. I'm in pain. Not only did I have the carpal tunnel, but now I have this horrible neck and head injury. They told me because of that hard hit on my head with head injuries, you don't know how it can affect you later. It could affect you as you get older and progress because it could be, damage there. So they really caused me to get hurt. They had water and wet buggies on a slick floor where the buggies don't even go. They had a buggy corral, which they should have been in. Okay, but being that they are the super mega store, they won somehow. The lawyer drops my case, says I slipped in my dress, which there was no possible way. I didn't have on a freaking wedding dress. I didn't have on a long train. And even if I did have that on, I would have fell forward, not flat backwards on my back. So basically, they most likely made some backhanded wheeling and dealing together, and the lawyer dropped my case. The lawyer, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but the lawyer called me the week after my mother died, right before her funeral. And at first it was supposed to be, I think it was like 70 some $1,000 on the table for my injuries. He calls me, ma'am. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, finally the money finna come through. I can get Marcello, his lawyer. Maybe he can come home. Things are getting real. I just lost my mother, and y'all know I lost my mother in a bogus behind way. So I'm thinking everything gonna come together. He calls me and he's like, ma'am, I have to drop your case. I don't feel comfortable representing you because you slipped in your dress. And I'm like, I didn't slipped in my dress. How in the heck? I know I didn't. Let me see the tape. Let me see the tape. They would not provide me the surveillance tape. They go get me the surveillance tape way from across at customer service. It was so far away, but even on the surveillance, you could still see me walk straight in and collapse. Like there was no slipping in my freaking dress. But they won because they're the giants. They're the giants of the land. And the little people get crushed on and stepped on. So before my last write up, I went head on and I found me another job. I found me a job at a cash place, like a money store or whatever. So I was so excited because me and my friend used to all the time talk about finding new jobs, getting off this night shift, going back to school, but we wouldn't do nothing because being overnight keeps you stagnant because you're always freaking sleepy. Like you have every intention in the world, but you're tired. Like, and tired is going to take precedence over anything else. So when they were on my tail like that, write me up, and I know I got one more write up, I got this child that I have to take care of. Girl, I found something. I went started working at the money store. Now I was at the money store for a little while. I mean, I felt good about myself. I felt because when I worked at that super center, I got into a deep dark depression. We used to call that place the blue hole, not the black hole, the blue hole. Like it was so freaking depressing to I just wanted to let everything go just because of my employment. So I might, not be so fond of my work situation now, but nothing was like that. I don't think I even wanted to live anymore working there, to be honest with you. That is exactly how I felt. So I got up and found something. When push comes to shove, you're going to find something. And when you're a mother, you're a single mother, you're basically my husband depending on me as well, being a prison wife, I got to make something happen. So I found me a job. I started working at the money store. Now, this was a job that I was scared to take because you do know that I have the carpal tunnel. It did have typing involved, but they told me it was very little typing. It was just typing in names and addresses. So I'm thinking, okay, I could probably handle that. It's not too bad. It's just the name and address. Girl, no, I couldn't handle that. But even though it was hurting me, it started feeling like electric shocks were going up and down my hands that it was so bad. Just typing in the names and addresses. But that's not why, I ended up getting fired there. I was doing good. I would be in some pure pain, but I had some little medication that the doctor would prescribe me, and it would kind of knock out some of the pain, dull that down, and I would ignore the rest because I have to work. It doesn't matter. You have to make ends meet. Don't matter what health you in. You got to find a way. So I found a way. Electric shocks going up my arm and all. I'm going clocking in, working 10-hour to 11-hour shifts, driving way across town because they didn't want you to work anywhere close to your house because you're working at a money store. They didn't want anybody to follow you home and this and that and all kinds of bad situations that can happen at a money store. You can even leave to go for lunch. Once you clocked in, you have to order lunch. You can't go back out to your car for nothing until you're going home. That is it. Okay, so I got there and it was basically like a survey saying but first, I was so happy. I woke up. I need to tell you a story time about that. Yes, because I'm about to run out of time here. But I woke up and I felt good about myself. I was putting on a nice, clean, button down uniform and I was doing my hair again. When I get depressed, girl, my hair is the last thing I do, which it should be the first thing I do but I always reflect my mood. It's like I'm a freaking chameleon. You can see exactly how I feel. Ah, so they had a survey and they was like, be completely honest. Was there anything different that you didn't expect about this job and this and that? And I was completely honest and They told me that I went through my training. They said, you were doing so good. Oh my gosh, you catch it on, blah, blah. I'm not telling them about the pain I'm in because I worked through my pain. Oh well, for me, I have pain. I have to work. I have to take care of my daughter. So I was doing the best that I could, but I was going home hurting. Okay, so they said, you're doing really good. Oh my gosh, you catching on, blah, 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 blah. Needless to say, after the survey, they called me. They was like, okay, well, hold on until, we're going to call you back with your shift. And when they called back, I was dropping my cousin off to the theme park. So I'm thinking they calling me. They're like, yeah, Miss Dixon. Um, and I'm thinking they're about to give me my schedule because they said they was going to call me with my schedule. And they said, Miss Dixon, it's not going to work out. This was like an extended interview. I'm like, extended interview? What you talking? Yeah, it doesn't seem like you're going to be a fit for this company. And we just strongly suggest that you return our uniform or we'll charge you for it. And I'm like, y'all freaking made me quit my 12 day. I got to tell y'all that story time. But a job I worked for 12 years, I quit for them. And then you call me talking about strongly suggest. All right, y'all.